Hi, and thank you for joining me. My name is Adrianne from Indyoga, and I'm here to lead you through a short, maybe 20 minutes or so, sequence that is designed for functional movement for swimmers or anybody that does some water sports. So whether that's paddleboarding or wakeboarding, wake surfing or water skiing. So it is short, it gets into the joints of the body in dynamic stretching and also functional movement. So take it as it comes to you today, however you feel. Notice sensations and experiences as you feel them. And if there are tight areas in your body particularly, try and breathe through them, try and relax, let the tension release out in a nice big deep exhale. So we are actually going to start lying down on our backs, which is very welcome, and I will join you there.
You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
So as we come to lie on our backs, maybe the legs are extended, maybe they are bent, and you take them to the wider edges and let the knees just soften towards one another. This helps to relax into the lower back and the pelvis. So it depends how comfortable you feel with the legs extended. If you have got the legs extended, let the ankles and the feet just relax and fall out. We don't have to hold the legs in place by the outer hip muscles engaging the thighs or anything. So really just allow this natural open rotation of the hips to happen here, and the feet and the legs are completely relaxed. Same goes with the shoulders, same goes with the arms and the hands, as just as much as the feet and the ankles. So take a moment just to get comfortable, lying down on your back and spreading the shoulders, spreading the buttocks. Relax the muscles, relax the facial expression. You might like to close the eyes. I'm actually looking straight up through my skylight at very, very beautiful clouds and a little bit of blue sky. So if you've got a nice view above you rather than a ceiling, if you're indoors, then you can either keep the eyes open or softly close the lids. Just take a few moments to connect to where you are and how you feel today. So start to invite a slow and steady inhale and exhale through the nostrils, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Try and level and equal those breaths out if you can. And only focus on your breath and how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally. Try not to get distracted by other thoughts of what you're going to have for tea later. And the breath is so important as it guides us through functional movement or exercise, through the sports that we do, never holding the breath and really allowing the exhale to release tightness, tension, effort. And the inhale is expansive, expressive, and more like a reach, filling and energizing the body as well. So just take a moment to think about your extremities here, the fingers and the toes. And just lightly curl the fingers in towards the palm, so you're creating a fist. Place the thumb over the top of all four of the finger knuckles and really clench that fist in tight. The wrists might lift away if you start to bring the clenched fist back towards your forearm, and then extend that out and start to gently uncurl the thumb and the fingers. So do that a few more times. Curl in the fingers, curl big fist, lift the wrist up, stretch into the wrists, and then release the wrist, back of the hand, and uncurl the fingers. Then wiggle the fingers, start to get some movement into all of the joints. and start to rotate through the wrists. Going one way, noticing clicks, any crunches, grinding, anything like that in the joint, and then circle the other way. Give them a little shake out and relax those down. Let's start with the toes and the feet. So again, screw the toes in as much as you can so the toes don't curl in like the fingers do, but think about drawing the sole of the foot closer to the heels and the toes, and then extending and spreading out the toes. That's it. You might feel calf engagement. It's so subtle. And then draw the toes in, squeeze, 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 clenching toes, and then extending, spreading, stretching. Think about the big toes coming in towards one another and the little toes pushing out themselves outwards. And then pull that in and stretch it out. Now start to rotate into the ankle. Circling one way and the other. And the hands and the feet are so important with swimming. They are the extension to your strokes, really, so never forgetting them. And give the feet, the ankles, a little shake. That's going to come up into the calves, the thighs, the buttocks. Just move the shoulders as well. Big, big shake of the body. And then gently draw the knees in towards the chest. You can create a little bit of space there. The hands might come over the shins, or you just might have the fingertips on top of the knees. And just rock from side to side, really lengthening the tailbone downwards. So you're filling the whole of the mat with your back. And then opening up into the hips this time. So taking the knees nice and wide, softly, no jerky movements. Exhaling, the knees go out. Inhaling, knees come in. Notice how your hip moves, right and left hip, obviously, the hip socket. And then circle the other way. So the knees come inwards towards one another, and then circling them out. And then just take the hands and the feet up towards the sky. Take a look at the feet and the fingers. And extend the fingers, pulling the shoulder blades away from the mat. And then roll the shoulder blades down, spreading them out, keeping the fingers reaching. Flexing the feet back towards you, spreading the toes out as if you've got somebody resting on the soles of your feet. Do the same with the hands. Good. Push away as if you're pushing a wall. You can always bend the knees here if the hamstrings are particularly tight, dropping the knees down towards the thighs. And then pointing. So really you're actually pointing the feet, stretching into the tops of the feet and the arches, and then dropping the fingers down towards the forearms. So bring that back again and flexing and pointing and flexing and pointing. Rotating, hands and feet together. Oh, my toe just cracked then. Big toe crack. And circle the other way. Great. Give them a shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake out the legs. And nice and gently roll over to one side and bring yourself up to a tabletop position. So tabletop, the knees are going to be underneath the hips and the wrists are underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers out nice and wide. Middle finger is in line with the edges of your mat. And just sway the hips nice and gently from side to side. Start to circle the hips forward and backwards. One way and the other. Again, find that breath. Inhaling, exhaling through the nostrils. And we're going to stay back into a frog pose or a wide-legged child's pose. Move the rib cage left and right before you go there. So the big toes are touching, knees are outside of the hip width. And then nice and gently reach the fingertips forward, melting the chest down and bringing the head to a block or to a cushion or the mat. Now take a few moments to pause and breathe here, lengthening the spine, reaching fingertips away. Pulling hips back towards the heels. You're going to feel that stretch across the lower back and across the pelvis. And then let's come into our first kind of dynamic movements here. So these are rocking or frog rocks, really. So you're going to pull yourself up, push the shoulders over the wrists as much as is possible. Maybe you can stay upright, pushing pubic bone down, and then pull the hips back. So do what feels good. Okay, so if something isn't feeling quite right, wrists, knees, hips, spine, just take it nice and steady. Push the pubic bone down, lift the chest, and pull back. So pulling navel towards the spine. Flowing with a steady breath, trying to think about exhaling as you go back and inhaling as you come forward. Last couple of times, push the hips back towards the heels and then coming forward. Okay, bring yourself back, bring the knees together. Come off the wrists if they're giving you a little bit of jip. They might not be used to being in tabletop and putting that much weight through them. So give them a shake and a rotation. Come back into that tabletop position. Cat and cows here. Let's get into the spine and the vertebrae. Opening up the chest, pushing away from the mat, rounding through the spine as you breathe out. Chin comes to chest. Inhale, looking forward, dropping belly, arching spine. That's your back extension. This is your back flexion. And looking forward. Really think about each and every vertebra moving. And then come to the back of the mat and kneel. Bring the legs around in front of you just for a moment to come off of the knees, come off of the wrists. So sitting nice and tall. If you've got blocks handy, they come in handy for this one. So you can squeeze the block together. It keeps the ankles, knees and hips nicely aligned. We're going to lift up and give ourselves a nice big side stretch, lateral flexion over. So think about ankles, knees, hips, all in alignment. Shoulders are coming out of that plane, reaching over. Maybe the elbow comes down, but not at the compensation of that left buttock coming away from the mat. So keep the rib cage nice and open. We're not closing down here. Reach the fingers away. Remember, those are the extension to your arm, to your body, and then bring yourself back up. These are the latissimus dorsi stretches. Reaching up and over, again pulling that sit bone down. I don't want to see that buttock coming away, just so that you get a deeper reach. Push that buttock into the mat and then stretch. Nice and slowly bring yourself back. Let's go the other way once more. Exhale on the effort. Inhale, center. Exhale, effort to the left. Inhale, center. Keep it moving. And last one. Sweep it over and come back. Let's take that block away. Place it down. Swing the legs back around. Let's come into a little bit of footwork here, tucking the toes underneath you for a toe squat. If you've never done this before, the toes may feel particularly tight. So the more weight that you bring back towards the heels, the deeper this is going to feel. If you need to, just keep the toes really tucked underneath you and bring the weight forward. The deeper that you want to feel this toe stretch, the fire, the burn, We definitely don't want to take ourselves into a place of pain here, but we do want to feel something. We do want to feel the challenge. Sit with it, relax the face, smile. Drop the weight in towards the buttocks, into the hips, into the heels, into the toes. Doing great. Find the steady breath. It's going to feel amazing when you come out of this posture, out of the toe squat. Such a beautiful evening. Nice and slowly, let's bring us forward. Don't rush to come out. Just feel what it's like when you release the toes. Ooh, feels so nice. Good, let's go ankle stretch. So again, same principle applies. The more weight, I'm going to come forward a little bit, the more weight that you actually take back in towards the heels is going to be deeper into this stretch. Now, here might be just enough. Okay, if you want to go a little deeper, start to lift the knees away, scooping up the belly, taking the hands away from the mat. Again, that's deeper. Or you might just want to come back to here if the knees and the thighs really allow this. So again, you might be really feeling this in the ankles underneath. I certainly do. So I'm going to try and relax my face and smile and breathe. Never hold the breath. Again, you just want to feel the sensations, be aware of the tightness. I'm certainly going to come out of there. I think I prefer this one. Ooh. Good, nice and slowly bring it forward. Hands come back into that tabletop and just lift the right foot. Give it a little release. Notice now, toes, ankle, all feel nice and loose. Give it a little shake. And the left, do the same. Good. So let's bring the right foot forward and take the foot out to the side. We're going to go into these hip flexor stretches. So the right knee kind of goes towards the outer edge of the mat, and the left knee goes to the outer edge of the mat, and the right knee goes out to the edge. So you're going to be rocking forward and rocking back. On the rock back, try not to go all the way back here, but dig that front heel in and pull the toes towards the shin. Good. Dropping forward. Keep the chest nice and lifted. Again, if you've got blocks handy in your house, they help to fill the space. So you might just put the hands on there. This is great because they work through the back of the legs and also into the hip flexor. And you can stay and hold, opening up that right thigh, right hip, dropping the hips downwards towards the earth. If you want to go deeper, bring both forearms down. Again, dropping the buttock. Buttock doesn't want to stay nice and high. Pushing buttock down. Nice slow breaths. It's not technically a lizard, it's kind of in between. And nice and slowly come out and sweep that right leg back. Let's go left. So again, dropping forward and pulling back. Notice where you feel the target areas here. Maybe right and left feels very different to one another. I don't think I'm going to be able to get down onto my forearms on this side, maybe, but a little tighter. Keep that knee nice and externally rotated from the hip joint there. Dropping buttocks deeper, deeper, deeper towards the mat. It's going to stretch into that front leg. And nice and slowly bring yourself back. Woo. And spin the legs around. Let's come all the way down onto our bellies into prone. So sliding down. Bring the head to the back of the hands and just bring the big toes to touch and sway out here. Take a moment just to feel what it's like being on the belly. I've got a couple of postures down here. So the first one is a twisted cobra. So I tend to widen my feet just a little bit wider than hip width. Try to keep all 10 toes connected towards the mat. Try not to externally rotate from the hips here. So keep knees, thighs all pressing down. The arms come by the side of the rib cage. You're going to roll the shoulders away and tuck the elbows in. Lifting up, now keep the hips nice and grounded and just simply twist the rib cage towards the right side. You're going to pull down that left hip bone. Maybe you look towards the back foot. Oh, bring yourself back. Let's go other way. Lift up and twist it round. So you're twisting from the waist and the side body here. Again, lift up, twist or rotate, bring back, lift and twist. Repeat a few more times. It's not easy. These things will complement and support your sports. Let's go right once more. You don't have to come too high. You can stay nice and low and bring yourself back into center. Head to the back of the hands. Deep breath out. I say that for me mostly, and sway out through the hips. Let's go into our broken wing, or lying chest opener. Left arm out to the side, right arm by the face, and let's roll onto the left hip. If you like, you can take that top leg over. Ear stays down on the mat, or you might just bend the knees. So from here, we simply roll back and roll over. So again, toe tapping opens up the hip, and you can choose to extend that arm if it feels better. I feel that the extended arm variation is a lot easier than the half bent or half cactus with that 90-degree bend into the elbow. Making sure you're pulling down the left chest, left armpit towards the mat. And keeping the ear down. Let's go other side. So right arm comes out, left hand stays by the face. Again, rolling over, either with bent knees or opening up. Oh, tight this side. Bring yourself back into center. Again, you choose the option of that bent arm or straight. You can definitely get much more leverage and opening with a straight arm. You choose your challenge according to your range of motion in the shoulder joints. And let's bring it back into center. Head to the back of the hands, sway out. This time let's sweep the arms back around us and bring the palms face up by the hips. Relax the shoulders, round the shoulders down here. Take a moment's rest, recover. Notice how the body feels after that one. And then let's come to our seal ripples. These are back extensions, hands at the top of your mat. Maybe the feet are again a little bit wider, and just pushing up through straight arms if you can. Try not to sink the neck between the shoulders and the collarbones here, but pushing away, we are lifting up through the sternum. Exhale, roll down, pull navel in towards the spine. Push pubic bone, hip bones down into the ground. Keep all 10 toes touching. 2 or 3 more. Pushing up, see if you can get straight arms. You can stay nice and low here. You do not have to come too high. Depends on your back mobility. And nice and slowly, the last time, we're going to come up and stay. And we're going to hold. Breathe with it. You're doing great. Try to resist the collapsing. Keep lifting. And now lower. Well done. Sway out through the hips. Well, there's a little tiny creature in front of my mat. I don't want to kill it, but there we go. He's just taken a flight. Okay, let's pull ourselves back through tabletop. Now round through the spine, just to release into a gentle flexion. You might feel quite tight after those back bends, so drop into the back bends and release. Good. So let's come into threading the needle with an adductor stretch as well. The right leg comes out to the side. Pelvis is nice and level across the top, and the toes are pointing forward. We're rolling that foot outwards. We're going to lift up the left arm and thread it through and under. Now, if the shoulder doesn't quite meet the floor, again, a cushion or a block helps. Right hand is here. We're going to lift up that left arm, and again, it's a dynamic stretch. Reaching through, lifting up. Oh, my ceiling is right in the way. And we're going to stay and hold on this last one. Reach the fingers towards the toes. Stretch the front arm forward. Pull navel to spine. Rotate through the rib cage here. Notice where everything feels. Good. Slow breaths. And bring the right arm back and the left arm back. And let's go to the other side. So left leg extends. Make sure that your hip and your knee are in alignment here. So when you do fall down, you're not leaning too far over this way, and then you're pulling into your inner groin, inner thigh. Turn those toes forward. We lift up the right arm this time, and it threads through in towards the left toes. Maybe tap the head and the shoulder if it feels comfortable. Keep pressing through right shin, right ankle. So much to think about. So much stuff. And last time, we stay and hold, reaching those fingers towards those toes, bringing the ear down and reaching left arm forward. Oh, tight on this side. Pull navel to spine. Doing great. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then bringing left arm back and the right arm back and left leg back and coming back. Let's come off of the hands and the knees this time. And let's open up into a deer pose. So you can face the front of the mat if you like, or you can face the side, wherever. If you're on a nice comfortable carpet like me, then your front foot, will be nicely supported. But make sure that your the bony parts of your feet basically are nice and cushioned. So we're going to create a little square here. So you've got a 90-degree bend at the hip on the left, 90-degree bend at the knee on the right. There's a light flexion into that right foot, and you're gently pressing that right knee down. We're going to lift up and over. Big stretch. Again, we come into this side body stretch. Then we fold forward over the right knee, dropping down the knee and dropping belly down towards the thigh. Soften into the right glute here. This is targeting into the piriformis. Rolling up through the spine, we're going to take ourselves to the back and give ourselves a big stretch. Try not to let this knee come up, but push it rather than push it down. Yeah. Bring yourself back into center. So let's do that once more. We reach up and over. We come down into a twisted deer pose. We roll up through the spine and we come back towards, my hip just cracked. Let's do it once more. Reach up and over. Again, blocks help fill the space. Bring the body forward so you get that deep twist, rolling over front thigh. Let everything relax and release. Roll up through the spine, use the hands to support you, and then twist towards the back leg. Bring yourself center and change sides. Make sure that left foot is now active. Reaching up and over, big stretch. Fold towards the front thigh, dropping the body over, chest, belly down over the thigh. Relax into the underneath glute. Roll up through the spine and then twist towards the back leg. Let's do that once more. Lift up. Stretch it over. Start to cave that top shoulder downwards towards the knee. See if the knee and the shoulder are stacked. Roll up and then twist and rotate. And remember that left knee pushes down towards the earth as you rotate. Doesn't come up here. Push, push, push away. Bring yourself back. Lift up and over. Exhale there. Fold over the thigh. Deep breath out. Roll up through the spine. Bring yourself to center as you twist towards the back. And bring yourself center. This time we bring the right leg through. They just go wide of the mat. We're going to start to slow everything down now and just move the knees over to one side. Windscreen wiper. This is going to start to travel yourself forward, buttock by buttock. Good. 3 or 4 on one side and the other. And let's roll ourselves down onto the mat. Bring ourselves into the center, draw the knees in and return to where we started. Now start to feel how open the hips are, how relaxed and open the chest, the spine, the shoulders are, how less tight and tense the fingers, the wrists, the toes, the ankles are. And I hope that you feel a little bit looser, a little bit more flexible, a little bit more calm. And maybe you use this as a warm-up for your swim or water sports. Maybe you use it as a cool down. Either is good. The dynamic side of it is better to use as your warm-up, and then your cool down is the hold. So, a 1 minute hold. And then bring the knees in, give yourself a big, big hug. Lift the head, squeeze the forehead in towards the knees. Nice and gently extend the legs, extend the arms, and this is your reward, your final relaxation, where I leave you to your own time, and you stay here as long as you need. I'd recommend at least 5 minutes, but maybe you don't know how much time passes when you're lying here, so give yourself as much time as you need. And don't rush to get up and to go back into your day. Really treasure and value the practice that you have just given yourself, and this is your reward. So take these moments just to continue to remain present with yourself, with your body. Take in sensations, feelings, experiences that you had throughout this practice, and I hope that it prepares you well for your chosen sport. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.